welcome to my 35-week pregnancy update. 35 weeks, only 5 weeks to go, although I think it's probably like a month or less because it's the 10th today and I am due on the 13th of February, and my doctor did say that he didn't think that I would go over my due date, so probably within a month Theo will be here, which is kind of crazy. But we're excited and happy, and let's just get into the update. So first off, I always talk about symptoms, and as usual they're pretty much the same as normal or as like past weeks. Something that has increased a lot this week is actually dreams. I did have some at kind of the beginning, middle of the pregnancy, and then they kind of went away, and then this week that picked up again. So I actually remember a lot of my dreams now, both from the night sleep and also from naps throughout the day. And the craziest one that I had the other day, that just, had me cracking up afterwards, was that I was, in the dream, I was gonna crack 2 eggs to cook, I guess. And when I was gonna crack them, I heard sounds from inside, just like tapping sounds. And so I waited a bit and they opened and there were chickens inside. I mean, the chickens tapped open the eggs, whatever. You probably know what I mean. Something like that. So there were 2 chickens and they were like tiny and yucky looking, and I was appalled. And I remember in the dream, I considered, can I call Michael and ask him if there's any like humane way to kill these chickens? It was so weird. But then they grew super quickly in like a minute. They didn't grow in size, but they grew like, they got all feathery and cute and like little puff balls. And so suddenly I liked them, and suddenly I knew that they needed to nurse. So I nursed them. So I now have my first experience of breastfeeding chickens, which is interesting. I have actually heard a lot of people, or at least some friends, tell me that they did have dreams like that when they were pregnant, like giving birth to kittens or nursing puppies or whatever. But I guess my thing is chickens for whatever reason, so yeah. That was kind of an interesting dream. Other than that, I guess constipation has gotten worse, but I can only blame, or I think I can blame, the iron pills. I now take them twice a day, or I try to remember to do that, instead of once a day. So that's gotten worse. Let's see, I'm gonna consult my little list here. Lightning crotch and generally feeling like pressure down there has definitely increased as well, especially now in the evenings when I go to bed. I have a really hard time falling asleep because I feel like I constantly have to like cross my legs and I don't know what it's called in English, but clench my muscles, I guess, to make sure that I don't pee, which I don't, because I mean I go to the bathroom several times in the evening, so I don't have to pee. It's actually just Theo, I guess, pushing down on my pelvis, but it has kind of the same feeling, so it feels like I'm gonna pee my pants, and that makes it hard for me to fall asleep, and it's super frustrating. But I guess it means that we're progressing, so that's good. It's just, it's definitely, yeah, it's frustrating, like I said. Pain in my sides and ribs is something that I have had for a few weeks now, especially on my left side. My like the lowest rib, I guess, somewhere around that rib I have pain. I don't know if it's in the rib or whatever, but somewhere around there. And now it started on the right side as well, and just in my sides, kind of the sides of the belly, are hurting. And I think it's just because Theo's getting bigger and he doesn't have a lot of room left in there. I'm still super tired. I'm hoping that the increased iron intake is gonna help with that, but maybe this is just part of being at the end of pregnancy. Like I said last week, this is all new to me because I have never been this pregnant before. With Tyrion, I had him week 34 plus 1, and now I am on week 35 plus 0, I guess. So 6 days away from the day that I had him. So everything is kind of new, even though of course every pregnancy is different either way. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to expect as much as I did before, I guess. But something that has gotten better actually is heartburn. And just because I said that, I had some acid reflux. But yeah, in general, heartburn hasn't been as bad this week. I haven't had it every single night, almost every night, but not every single one. And it hasn't been as bad, so that's nice. I don't know if that means that he is lower down, that he's not pushing as much on, I don't know, whatever's up here that's causing the heartburn. But yeah, that's it for symptoms. And for weight, I actually forgot to weigh myself this morning, so I don't know how much I've gained, but I'm sure I've gained some. And somewhat connected to that is the size of the belly. I told you last week, or I hope I did, I think I did, that when I went to the midwife's appointment, she measured my stomach as she usually does, and she said that it was a bit too big, I guess, or compared to 2 weeks before. So she booked an appointment for an ultrasound, and we went to that ultrasound on Thursday, and we didn't get to film, we didn't get any pictures, we actually didn't get any like good views ourselves of Theo. We had hoped that we would like see how big he is and how different he is from the last ultrasound, but she was so zoomed in throughout the entire ultrasound that we couldn't see a profile, we couldn't see his entire body, we only saw like, oh, here's the heart, or here's a leg. So that was kind of not sad, but just like we had hoped for, I guess, more fun things to see. Either way, we were there to check that everything was fine, and everything was. He is not too big at all. I have like the perfect amount, or a good amount of, what's it called? The fluids that are in the uterus. Whatever, the fluids that he sleeps in, or just does everything in, I guess. And she measured some things that they measure to make sure, or like to get an estimation, I guess, of how big the baby is. And I don't actually remember the number right now, but he was at a very good number. He was just a tiny bit bigger than Tyrion was when he was born. And on their like average charts and stuff, he was at +3% compared to the average like middle line. So she said he's basically on the line, so everything is good here. So yay, that's very good. Now we can relax about that. And yeah, I haven't been to any other doctor's appointments or anything, so I think we'll just go into baby buys and pregnancy buys right away. And this is kind of silly, because I feel like every week I've said, oh, this is probably the last thing we're gonna buy for Theo because we don't really need anything else, and then we keep thinking of other things that we need. So the other day when we were at IKEA, I remembered, oh, we don't have any of those like changing not changing pads, but whatever the baby lies on the changing table. We just have the actual changing table because our cat peed on the last one, so we had to throw it out. So I found this at IKEA. It's super cheap. I'm not sure how much you can see, but it's just one of those, like, this is actually a blow up thing. And it's plastic, so even if the cat pees again, it should be fine. We also got this cover for it, so this can just go in the wash whenever it gets dirty. And that's gonna have to work. And like I said, it was cheap, and that was what we wanted. So yeah, that's one thing we got. And then also the other day when I was at the pharmacy, I remembered that I need breast pads, I guess, to not leak through my shirts once Tyrion's here. And I thought that I had these from when I had Tyrion, but I haven't found them, so I bought them again. And these are actually not pads, these are like little cups that collect the milk. And if you just make sure that you like put it in the fridge within a couple of hours or something, within a few hours, it's fine to feed the baby in like a bottle or something. And so they worked for me last time, and so I'm gonna use them now too. And of course they are like reusable. You just wash the plastic, and that's good too, so I don't have to feel like I'm throwing out a bunch of like pads every day. Yeah, I should say that that's it for pregnancy and baby buys. But I did buy something else that I'm probably gonna return, but just because I love it so much, I'm gonna show it anyway. This is a breast pump, And my plan was actually to rent a electric breast pump at least for the weeks that I am not going to be at home with Theo. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. But then I saw this at the pharmacy and I fell in love just because I love Mam or Mum or whatever they're called. This brand is my favorite. I love their like bottles and pacifiers and everything they make pretty much. So I saw this, I hadn't heard about it before, and I was like, I need this. But then we kind of researched it online, and I don't think anything's wrong with it. It just is a lot cheaper at some other places. So we're probably going to return this and rethink and see if we actually want one of these, which is a manual one, which takes longer time, of course, or if we're going to rent the electrical one. I'm not sure what's going to be the best choice price-wise, and yeah, we'll see what we do, but this is kind of what it looks like. What I wanted to show you now is not something that we have bought, it's something that we have gotten, because at least here in Sweden you can sign up for baby boxes from different companies and you get free stuff. Basically, I think it's just their way of getting you into their business. So you get some freebies and then you get lots of like coupons and stuff so that you go back and buy more stuff. And these two that I have are from pharmacies. We actually have one more to pick up from a pharmacy that's a bit further away, so we haven't gotten it yet. And we have two more boxes from like grocery stores. But they're out of stock right now, so we have to wait for them. This is the first one. And here's the second one. And I think I'm just gonna pour everything out and show you all the stuff that I have. Okay, so first off, I have a bunch of these like coupons and stuff. I'm not gonna go through them individually. Most of them are not interesting to me, but some are. And then we have some laundry detergent. I guess this is like extra good for kids and good for the environment and the skin and stuff. So they wanted to give you a sample. We also have some diapers, our favorite brand, so that's good. We have 1, 2, 3 packages of wet wipes. Some of the things were in both boxes, so we have double of some. These are earplugs for like, it says for parents in need of sleep, so yeah, kind of interesting. This is, I think, let's see what it says. It prevents bad breath. So, yeah, that's good, I guess. And then we have some Ultra Glide for whenever we want to start doing that again after having a baby. We have a bib from a insurance company. This is vitamins for adults and like older kids. I'm sorry if the angle's different, but my camera stopped recording all of a sudden and I had to like check it out. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure how much you saw, but we got a pacifier from them and a bottle from them as well, so that makes me happy since that's one of my favorite brands. And then I also got this paper, which it's called We Parents, and it's about parents and kids and stuff. And yeah, that's all the stuff that was in these boxes. Whenever I get the other ones, I'll show the contents of those as well. The only thing that I had really hoped that I would get in one of the boxes is nipple cream, because I haven't bought any, and there might be one in one of the others. I don't know, so we'll see. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about is kind of the plan for what's gonna happen once Theo is born. And here in Sweden, at first when the baby's first born, you all like second parents, like the dad or the other mom, if it's a lesbian couple, they get 10 days off work, just right away. So Michael will be home with us, with Theo and me and Tyrion for 10 days. That's the first 2 weeks, the plan for the first 2 weeks. Depending on when Theo is born, I will then probably be at home with him for a little bit on my own. And then in February, at the end of February, I actually start my work training or my internship or whatever. And then I have an internship for 5 weeks at a preschool, like full-time days for 5 weeks. And we were very like, we've thought about this back and forth and talked about it, and I really don't want to miss this internship because then I would have to do it in a year's time instead, and I really just want to do it because this is the last internship of my program at the university. So we decided that Michael's taking those 5 weeks off. He has applied for the parent days like a long time ago already, so he's gonna be at home for those 5 weeks, and as long as nothing happens, like if I have some complications or anything, as long as nothing strange happens, the plan is for me to actually be like doing the internship. Yeah, so those 5 weeks, that's until the end of March, beginning of April, I guess, and then the plan is for me to keep studying and be at home with Theo full-time at the same time, and Tyrion's then going to be at preschool full-time, I guess, or mostly full-time. We will see if it works out. We will see if I can handle it. If I can't, I'm not gonna beat myself up over it. If it's just impossible to get everything done and I can't be there for Theo as much as I want, or I can't do my studies properly, then I'll just have to take a break from my studies, obviously. That's the only reason, or the only option I have. But we're hoping that we can somehow like make this puzzle of life fit together, and yeah, it's gonna be an interesting spring for sure. So yeah, that's kind of our plan, and that's the last thing that I wanted to talk about. So let's check out the belly. So here's the belly from the front and from the side. I never know what to do to make it show up more, but yeah, this is what it looks like from the other side. Yeah, that's it for this update. So please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more of our daily vlogs, and we will see you tomorrow, and thank you for watching. Hej då!